about a fictitious company in 1982 and 83 trying to break into the PC and personal computer.
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
World.
Yeah.
And but it's really much more about sick people.
Nice.
It's really about sick people.
I dig that.
Yeah. Greed and trauma. The human condition.
Great.
Like it's mostly about that.
That's cool.
That's
what Mad Men was about.
Yeah. These Gray Men, a Kickstarter campaign, an all-star project. The man behind it is John Dolmayan, and he joins us this evening. SystemOfADown.com, the official website of the band he is certainly most known for. Holy, is the website for the band he's certainly most known for. But John's got a lot going on in his life, and it's always a pleasure to talk to him. Very nice guy. He was just at Comic-Con, big comic book fan.
Yes.
And Dave the King of Mexico was taking pictures and showing me. It's like certain celebrities claim to be like big comic book fans or big geeks or quote unquote. Like John was like at the front of the booth, like helping customers. Like he was like shaking hands and really in there.
No, he had a big business with this.
Yeah.
I imagine it still is.
1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. Yeah, John Dolmayan going to join us straight ahead. Right now, though, we're going to take your calls regarding anything. And later tonight, the open forum. I'm excited about this one. Those of you who are consistent listeners to the show heard me 2 nights ago. In Dr. Drew's absence, it was Emily Morse from Sex with Emily here. And her main gig is talking about relationships and sex and people picking up other people and social gatherings and whatnot. And I was at a party this weekend with my wife. It was her publicist's birthday. And he's a longtime vet of the show business, and there was a lot of
important people.
Well, not necessarily, but needless to say, it was his big birthday. I think it was 50th or 40th. I don't know, but there's a lot of beautiful girls there. Clients and friends of friends and whatnot, and a lot of my wife's friends. And I started talking to these young ladies, all of which 28 to 32, all of which very attractive and very nice and appealing. And I was downright blown away about every story they told me about dealing with men nowadays. Like, the modern dating guy is such a bag that it's no wonder these dudes, there's all these guys walking around with everybody else going, how did he land her?
Right.
Well, he treated her like a human being. Maybe that was... And I know people are listening in their cars or wherever they may be on a podcast going, Mike, who are you to talk about treating women properly? This may come as a surprise to you, but...
You always did that.
Right. I like to objectify and be that guy on the air, and there is a certain comedy to it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to rubber hitting the road, it's insane.
Yeah.
These guys were, spitting game at bars, meeting these girls so do you squirt?
But it wasn't just the sort of opening volley. It also was how they conducted themselves in the
on
courtship.
Dates?
So we want to know modern male courtship behavior.
Yes.
What is the range?
Now I encourage young men to call up and please do inform Dr. Drew and I, enlighten us. Young ladies, call up and let us know. Am I out of my mind? Maybe a bunch of young guys are great. Maybe I'm totally off my rocker. Or further substantiate my hypothesis here that all young men are complete dicks now. And tell me the stories of these horror stories of guys going on dates nowadays.
Yeah, good. Excellent.
I just hung up on Ruben. I just hung up on both callers.
No.
Yep.
How did you do that?
I don't know. I don't think I could have done that again if I tried.
That's insane.
Yeah. Here's the deal, people. I have a little phone bank with a bunch of numbers on it, and then there's a computer screen with corresponding lines that tell me who's on which line. The numbers to press the buttons are very close together.
Uh-oh.
And a normal person can get it right every time, but occasionally my fingers will slip or I just engaged both and then hung up on both in one fell swoop.
It's actually a lot easier to do that than you might think.
Okay. Well, call back whoever you were. 1-800.
I see people calling it.
LOVE 191 is the number. Let me take this opportunity to remind people to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Rune does a great job. He's just starting now to do a great job of putting up good pictures and interesting stuff up on our Twitter site and certainly on our Instagram, at Loveline on Instagram and at Loveline on Twitter. So there you go.
There we go.
Yeah. Let's talk to Mark. Mark, hello.
How's it going, guys?
What up, buddy?
Not much. Long-time listener, great fan. Listen, second time I called, actually I called 2 years back. see, I'm already married. I'm 33. My wife is 25. So we got married back in November, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have this relationship that we known each other for like 7, 8 years, and we have a great sexual relationship, ever since we met and stuff. But recently, we having trouble connecting. I mean, she doesn't enjoy having sex anymore. A few months back, every time we had intercourse, she had kind of like pain and discomfort.
Okay, all right, hang on. So, has there been any pregnancies, deliveries, medication, illnesses?
No,
Nothing,
she's
nothing.
clean. Nothing at all.
So
And,
no babies, no medicine, no babies, no medicines,
No.
no birth control pills.
No, she was taking birth control, but that was probably about 4 years ago, and she just went off it, like 6, 7 months after.
And so nothing now, is that right?
Yeah, nothing now.
And what are you guys doing for birth control?
I use condoms once in a while, but not my, cup of tea. So actually, we just are very cautious when we have intercourse.
So you don't care if she gets pregnant, basically.
No, it's not about that. It's just that we are not planning to be pregnant, so I'm very careful about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you understand that that's not really, regardless of how careful you claim to be, you're
still-
not being very careful.
Right, you still can get her pregnant. So, okay, let's not get
Yeah,
into
we're aware of that.
that. All right. And when was the last time she saw a gynecologist or had a medical evaluation?
I'm sorry, what was that?
When was the last time she had a pelvic exam?
I don't know.
Okay, well, that's where to start, right? Because she's having pain with intercourse.
Yeah, I mean, according to her, I mean, it's, like, it's a lot of discomfort, and every time we talked about it, I mean, now we came to an agreement that, well, basically she opened up a little bit more, and she says that she just doesn't get turned on as much as before.
Right,
She
because it
doesn't
hurts
get
her. Why don't you get a medical evaluation to figure out why she's having pain?
Okay.
That's where you got to start, right? It started with there being pain with intercourse called dyspareunia. That needs to be explained and
dyspareunia.
treated. Then maybe she'll get turned on and start feeling more like doing this. Now, does she have any, just sort of the last question, the other thing to consider is, does she have any trauma history?
No.
No. So, so get a medical evaluation and see what's going on.
All right.
Thanks, brother.
I know for a male, they can't imagine the pain with intercourse to be sufficient to cause somebody to turn away from sex.
Right.
But for women, it's not a problem.
Yeah, I said that the other day, again on the show when you weren't here. I understand guys not going to the doctor or not seeking medical attention, even if their legs being chopped off.
Right.
I don't get like girls who call up the show and I go, well, just go see a gynecologist.
Yeah.
I don't understand women who don't get checked out. Guys, we're animals. I've had really serious stuff. Right.
I know. There's that they're not doing it, and then also don't be surprised when women have pain with intercourse. They guess what? Don't want to have intercourse.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Haley.
Hi.
Hi, honey.
So I'm really nervous. I've never actually gotten through. I've listened to you guys for 6 years, but
Thank you, honey.
I just went into a intake interview to go to a local rehab, and background, my roommate and I both got into heroin together, and we're very, very attached to each other. And behind her back, I have looked into getting treatment and am seeking help, and I really just don't know how to tell her because.
All right, hang on a second. Why did you go through intake and not get admitted?
Well, it's full right now, so I have to wait for a week for an open bed.
I see.
Oh, are you in Eugene?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what you tell her: we're dying. I've got to survive. I got to take care of myself. I hope you do the same. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been into rehab before and been in AA and AA, and I know that's what I'm supposed to say, but it's just hard when I see her dying, and I don't know what to do, and I know she's going to be upset, and it's just a really hard thing to do.
Right. Hey, listen, you love this girl. You are enmeshed with her as a user, and I get it.
You're in deep.
I get it, Haley. You're 19, and you've got a world of hurt to deal with, and you and this young lady are drawn into it together. You have a very close bond because of it. But let me, you listen to the words out of my mouth and see if it sounds any crazier as a observer as opposed to living it out, okay? You have a deadly disease, and you're well aware of how to treat this disease and you know exactly where to go and when to do it, but you're scared to get treatment for your disease because you think you might offend another girl who has the disease.
I know it sounds ridiculous.
It does.
There you go. It is ridiculous.
Now, I led off by saying with the caveat that it's totally understandable because you're a 19-year-old heroin addict. I understand why you feel this way. You feel this incredible connection with this young lady, and you feel like you're almost going behind her back. But you have to save your own life, and in doing so, you will most likely...
I look at all that stuff even more clearly. All that BS of, I'm going to offend her, she's going to be so hurt. That's all your illness.
Sure.
That's just your illness. That's just heroin talking. And she's got the same illness, and together it's doubly powerful. And her heroin addiction's calling for you. Your heroin addiction's calling for you. You got to get the F out of there and save yourself. And that gives her the chance to save herself, too.
Yeah, I know you guys are right. It's just hard. My best friend just died of a heroin overdose on Friday.
You're both on the way.
I just decided that I need to get help, because I am going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Haley, you have an incredible self-awareness. You have identified your problem and your disease. And I like I said, as someone who suffers from the disease, I totally understand where you're coming from. But just for, to the others out there listening who are normies, and for everybody, when I kind of broke it down and gave it back to you in more plain language, it is, you got to realize how crazy it is that you're reluctant to help yourself so that you don't, offend your friend.
When you and your friend reach for one another, you feel like you're reaching for a dear friend and a life preserver, and what you're reaching for, you're both reaching for, is an anvil. And you're adrift.
Rock, but
no, she's your anvil. You're adrift at sea. She's not your rock as you come to shore. She's an anvil that will sink you. And you are that to her, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Call us back when you get done with treatment. I hope it's very soon.
In like 2 months.
All right. Good deal.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
1-800-LOVE-191. This man is an entrepreneur, Dr. Drew. He is an artist in every sense of the word. He is most well known for being the drummer of System of a Down. Mr. John Dolmayan, he has a Kickstarter campaign started that he wants to talk about. I'm very interested in it. Very nice guy, very talented guy. John Dolmayan going to join us straight ahead here on Loveline.
This is Loveline. We're not here to cure anybody, but we can get you pointed in the right direction.
Loveline.
Loveline. We'll be back with more people fixing right after this.
One minute.
Give me a go, no go for launch. Booster.
Go.
Retro.
Go.
Vital.
We're go fly.
Guidance.
Guidance go.
Surgeon.
Go flight.
Ecom.
We're go flight.
GNC.
We're go.
Telmuse.
Go.
Control.
Go flight.
Procedures.
Go.
Inco.
Go.
FAO.
We are go.
Network.
Go.
Recovery.
Go.
Capcom.
We're go flight.
Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
30. 1 minute.
Give me a go, no.
I'm sorry, that
1 minute.
Yeah, buddy. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. Very talented young man joins us this evening. You know him best as the drummer of System of a Down, but he has a Kickstarter campaign, one that I'm very excited about. He is John Dolmayan.
Yay.
That's
up,
time he
dude?
came back.
I'm happy to be here.
You have not been on Loveline since I've been the host. It's been
Yeah,
over 4
4
years. Yeah.
You know, that's funny because we were talking about that in the other room. I didn't realize 4 years had gone by that quickly.
No, it's
I think
crazy.
it's been like 5. Was Stryker the co-host last time you were here?
He was. I
Yeah.
think it was actually 2008,
I was going to say probably about 6
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
which is an eternity.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised you didn't come up for even Scars on Broadway or anything.
That's when I came by.
Really? That's
was
how long
Scars.
ago it
Beginning of
was
that,
when you
yeah.
guys had that out there?
Beginning of
Oh
that.
my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, it is crazy how, like, when you're a little kid, time goes by so slowly. My nephew was telling me about how he was, like, counting the moments from spring break to summer break, and this was back in March, you know, when he was in spring break. And he's 10, and he was telling me about, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I got all these plans for summer, and it's just, I got to barge it, man. And then I did the math, and it's 6 weeks.
Oh,
But when I was a little kid, that 6 weeks
that's a long
seemed
time.
like
Yeah.
An eternity.
an eternity.
Yeah.
But now 6 years goes by, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that Weenie Rose from Scars on Broadway played. Seemed like a couple years ago. It was 6 years ago. I don't know.
And you're not alone.
Yeah.
You know,
For your nephew, though, 6 years is when he was 4 until he's 10.
Yeah.
It's entire grammar school experience.
Drew, what age do you get to? Not that you're like so
How
old.
dare you.
But no, but you are in a different generation than John and I.
Yeah.
But probably just one above.
Yeah. Probably just.
Well, no, I mean, because
Go ahead, yes.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
What age do you get to, if there is an age, where like 6 years isn't anything? Because for me, 29 to 35 is a big deal. I mean,
Yeah.
I was a different guy.
6 is still a significant interval.
Eh?
Yeah. I'm not sure that ever goes.
Oh, I'm
living
sure.
long. It does. Well,
Believe
yeah,
me,
your
my
80s,
grandfather,
90s.
when he was in
Yeah.
his 90s,
Yeah.
he was peeing on 6 years.
Yeah, probably.
I think every 5 years you're a completely different person.
Yeah. If you're not, it's a problem, right? Like, if I still see the same dudes back at home, like, if I go back to San Marino, like, for Thanksgiving or something, and there's, like, the same guys drinking at the 35er and talking about, like, junior year baseball, I'm always like,
Oh,
man.
that's crazy.
I'm always
Yeah,
like,
that's
dude,
a tough one.
Yeah.
that's bad news.
Yeah, that's bad news.
Do you ever, are you, like, you guys must be, like, kings in Glendale. You must be, like,
I never grew up in Glendale.
You didn't?
I was one of the guys that didn't. Actually, only two of us grew up in that area.
Really?
Serge and I.
But they
Serge
all ate
grew
at
up
the
in, like, Sherwood
carousel.
Oaks. We do.
Yeah.
I hope you do too. It's great.
Oh, Drew balls it up in the carousel. Drew gets love in Brand
Chicken
Boulevard.
sandwich.
Drew gets love on Brand Boulevard. It's so crazy. I think, because we could sit here and wax poetic about the Armenian community in Glendale, California, and it makes perfect sense because Drew and I both grew up not only in the Los Angeles area, but on the east side. But people outside of LA, they don't even understand that at all. But there's more people, Armenian Americans and Armenians in Glendale than probably in the country of Armenia.
Unfortunately, that's becoming a sad fact. But when System first toured the United States, we went out with Slayer, which, of course, is not the easiest band to open for. And a lot of the places...
You're telling me that at a Slayer concert, people want to see Slayer only?
It tends to go that way, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And young Armenians with makeup on isn't really what they're looking for. They really had no idea what Armenians were.
Right.
They thought we were like Arabs or Muslims, or they didn't know what.
Right.
They have no idea that Armenians were the first nation to accept Christianity as its national religion. They don't know the rich history. They absolutely knew nothing about the Armenian genocide.
Well, I was shocked to find out, and it was only through President Obama, maybe 2-3 years ago, making it a actual national recognition of the Armenian genocide. I didn't know that was like a thing. Like I said, growing up in Pasadena, I always was just acutely aware. I didn't know that there needed to be some grander awareness of it. I didn't know that there was that was such a misunderstood or overlooked.
The Turkish acknowledgement is the problem.
Well, the United States really hasn't officially acknowledged it either.
Yeah.
Obama has kind of waffled on that, which I think he's like the third or fourth president to do so. Clinton also promised.
I mean, isn't it bottom line is that Armenia was part of the Soviet Union at one time, and Turkey was an important ally. So there you go. That was that.
Right.
And they just haven't gotten over that.
That certainly didn't help.
Yeah.
I don't think that's it. It's just a much deeper political conversation. There's, a couple of $100 million Turkish lobby to keep the genocide issue down, and we're coming up to the 100-year anniversary next year, the commemoration. So we're still talking about it because it's still meaningful for us, and there's still genocide happening.
Yeah.
If you go to Africa, it's happening right now, probably.
No, that's a crazy thing to think. There's places on this planet where there's other people actively trying to erase other people.
Yeah. Right now it's a mess. Here we go.
All right, 1-800.
All right, good times, guys.
Woo!
Woo! Later tonight, we want to talk about spitting game. Modern men and your game.
And
I was
their
blown away.
courtship behaviors.
I was blown away at
Range.
how crappy it is. So ladies called me up and tell me about young guys nowadays and how they spit game and their courtship. And guys, call me up and tell me that maybe I'm wrong or I'm totally right. But John Dolmayan is here. We're going to talk about These Gray Men, his new Kickstarter campaign. But first we have to talk.
Tissue so I could. I'm crying right now.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go straight into genocide. Hello, Marissa.
Hi, how are you?
What's happening?
Good. I have maybe some shed light you can give me.
Okay.
I recently just moved in with my boyfriend, and lately our relationship has been completely different from prior to when we lived together.
Yeah, well, moving in with someone is like nothing changes a relationship more.
Yeah.
Oftentimes.
We used to be inseparable and like kind of a touch at the hip type thing. We used to get along. We were best friends. And then lately it's like he's the stranger now, and he's really aloof and like distant, and it's really like night and day.
This may be wrapping up. How long have you guys been together?
Not very long, maybe like a year.
Okay,
a little
well,
over a year
if you're
now.
in the early 20s, things sometimes, that's a long time for a relationship in your early 20s. You're living together, it's not working out. Maybe it's meant to sort of not work out.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there's anything.
Yes, there's something you can do.
do.
You can sit down and go, what's going on here? Are we going to make this thing work? Or aren't we?
No.
Yeah, I mean, like, I try to go around it, and I try to make things even more easy. Like, I don't ask him to do anything around the house, and
Did I say that?
do
Did I say go
the-
easy on the guy and make him not do anything? I said sit him down and go, what's going on here? This thing is not the way it used to be. Are we going to make this thing work or are we not? Period.
And then what's the next step from there?
Well,
like
if he
I've
says I'm not feeling it, I'm sorry, but I'm just I think I'm out. Then that's that.
Mhm. Because I've brought it up, and I've said things feel different, and he just doesn't know what I'm talking about, and he's acting like it's the same.
I'll bet you he knows.
Either that, or this is just how he behaves when he gets comfortable in a relationship. This is his zone.
Well, I'm his first girlfriend.
How old is he?
He's 20.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, you're asking grown ass man stuff out of a 20-year-old boy, and it's not nothing wrong with him, but he's 20. I mean, that is a boy, and not only is it his first girlfriend, now he's living with you.
Yeah.
There's a pretty good chance that he may be just flipping out and not even know it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys can pay the rent.
Well, we needed to. Like, our living situation with our families is totally crazy. So our relationship, like I said, was like amazing.
Yeah, but here's the deal. What's amazing is you're fleeing your family of origin into one another's arms. His first relationship becomes a live-in relationship. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
Yeah, especially after only a year.
It's you're fleeing chaos, forcing this into a live-in first relationship. Aren't supposed to work out.
Yeah, listen, Marissa, you guys need to sit down and have a really long talk about whether or not this is a good idea. Honestly,
okay.
I mean, this is probably not even his own doing. It's just too much too quickly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, talk to him. I didn't. Did I hear what the Kickstarter campaign is?
Oh no, we're gonna dive right into that next break, Dr.
Okay.
Drew. We're going to talk exclusively about these gray men.
We got too far. Into
There's way too many questions.
All right.
Hello, Vince.
Hi, how you doing?
What up?
I have a question about, I've got a 19-year-old girlfriend, and I'm 21 years old, and I believe she has something that's called vaginismus, if I'm saying it right.
Right.
And I was wondering if there's anything that I can do to help kind of get past this situation we're in, where it's basically like we can't get to actually having sex.
Right. So first thing is she needs a medical evaluation. You're making a diagnosis which you have no training or no position to be doing so, right? So she needs to get an evaluation to see what's going on here. I assume, A, you're talking about pain at penetration, right?
Right, yes, sir.
Right. Does she have any trauma history?
The only thing that she's ever come forward to me about is that, like, an ex-boyfriend kind of scared her into giving him a blowjob, and obviously I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you how
do you do that?
Boo!
Nice, Drew.
Yeah, that wouldn't explain. You got to ask her if she had any painful trauma growing up, anything happened, any unwanted sexual contact, anything like that. Because yes, it may be vaginismus, it may be complicated by some trauma issues. And vaginismus, there's a book out there called Why Sex Hurts. I suggest you read it by a guy named Goldstein.
Chapter 1, having sex with Dr. Drew.
Vaginismus is a common sort of problem. But first is to get a formal diagnosis, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.
1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. John Dolmayan joins us this evening here on Loveline. We're going to talk exclusively next about his new Kickstarter campaign. It sounds awesome. It sounds very interesting. Lots to talk about. These Gray Men, the new Kickstarter campaign from John Dolmayan from System of a Down. We're going to dive right into it next here on Loveline.
Helping people get unscrewed up for 30 years. Dr. Drew is the best. No lecturing, no sermonizing. Loveline will be right back. Come with me inside the machine and I'll show you. Loveline.
Where were you, Anderson, in 1986?
Sweet threesomes.
Barely out of my mom's womb.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
When I first met you, I'm like, I saw you when I was like 14 years old in Thelonious Monster, and you freaked out. You got very mad at me.
Were you at the Roxy?
No, I used to see him at the Palace. You guys played with Jane's Addiction all the time.
Yeah,
it was always you, Jane's Addiction, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Fishbone.
Benefits. That was the bands.
That's so much heroin. Just like to say those bands all in one is like there's so much heroin emitting from like a cloud.
The best
around
one
you.
ever was a benefit show, and it was the basis of Fishbone.
Yeah,
like,
for his son got kidnapped. Yeah,
exactly.
So at that show that he was at, while Jane's Addiction was playing, Flea, who was a punk rocker.
Oh yes.
Oh God, yes.
Go watch Suburbia.
He said, "Let's stage dive," and I was like, "Not really." And it was John Cusack was there with us too, and so he got John, and John was like, "Let's go!" And there's 3 monitors on the front of the, on the front of the stage for each member. So we decided that we all three would just pick a stage monitor and we would run at it, because we were on the side of the stage, run at it and use the stage monitor as a jumping thing into the
Like
audience.
a diving board, yeah.
And we did it all three at the same time. The only time I stage dove in my life. So I'm in the air, going pretty far, 10, 15 feet out. And I, you know, like you can see like all the people trying to scatter or people putting their hands up. And where I'm going to land, the man is doing nothing. And you're like, you only have like 3 seconds, but it goes on for a long time.
Yeah. In your head, it
the
seems like
guy's
an
not
eternity.
moving. And then I started to pull my feet down under, and I just landed right on him, and you could hear his head pop on the ground. And he was blind.
How did you find out he was blind?
Because his friend started beating me up, and like he's
Was
like,
he
dude,
beating
what
you with
are
his cane?
doing?
Was he beating
no,
you with his blind
his
cane?
friend, and then I was helping the guy up, and people were like, "What the f is wrong with you?" Like, and the guy, his friend, the blind guy's friend, and then I was like, "I'm so sorry," and how weird is that?
Imagine if you will, all of us out there who have vision. Close your eyes and just like pretend like you're gonna close your eyes and
you're
meditate.
listening to Jane's Addiction play Mountain Song,
and just like your eyes are completely closed. You see that, and all of a sudden something just smashes you, like wrecks you. You know what that's like?
And he, you know, and it turns out, and then I'm so codependent. I tried to befriend the guys and whatever, and bought them drinks and whatever. Apparently, they were standing that far away because he is a punk rock blind fan.
Yeah.
And he knows that if he stands closer, that might happen. But no, they never expected people to fly that far out.
That's the best.
They didn't know they were taking a running start from backstage and going to use the monitor as a jumping device.
That's the best. you know that story's like been so mutated since he like now that he's grown up, the blind guy. He's like, yeah, it was I was 10 years old and Anthony Kiedis teabagged me. It was like just like
Go flight. Eat calm.
We're go flight.
GNC.
We're go.
Tell mute.
Go.
Control.
Go flight.
Procedures.
Go.
Inco.
Go.
FAO.
We are go.
Network.
Go.
Recovery.
One 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. Very talented young man, Mr. John Dolmayan, joins us this evening from System of a Down. And also from many a project. He is a comic book purveyor. He is a comic book fan. He is also a man with a Kickstarter campaign for These Gray Men. John, tell us about These Gray Men.
These Gray Men is a project that I'm trying to fund and actually funding myself as well, that is going to primarily be comprised of covers.
Okay. So it's a musical project.
Yes.
And you're going to gather like an all-star lineup, or are you going to...
That's the plan.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, System started touring again. You know, I think it was like 2010 or 2011 we started touring again. We actually haven't made an album since 2005, you know, in the studio.
Right.
I did the Scars album in 2008. And then since then, really haven't done anything musically as far as creating something. And when you're away from it for that long a time, you don't know what it is, but there's something lacking in your life.
Sure.
Yeah. So
well, I mean, if that's not only your passion in life, but you guys were lucky enough and hardworking enough to actually make such a beautiful career, and then to have that all just not be there, it's got to leave a tremendous void, you know, in many ways.
Yeah, but you don't realize it at first.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that creeps up on you, you know, through time, and it started to really affect me, you know, but I didn't know why.
Sorry.
Sorry. And then I'd be driving back and forth from LA to Vegas for one reason or another. I live in Vegas now. And I started to like just put on the iPod, you know, and listen to different songs that came up, put it on shuffle. And I'd hear a song and I'd start thinking like, wow, okay, that's a cool song, but what if this happened in the chorus, or what if this breakdown happened instead, or how would I approach playing it. And I started thinking about these things more and more, and just slowly through time started making notations. You know, I was like, okay, wow, this Madonna song came on. Haven't heard that in a while. How could I make that something that I would want to play or I would want to hear? And that's how it kind of started. Talked to a buddy of mine who I grew up with named James Hazley. Said, hey, look, what are you doing right now musically? And he said nothing. He was really disenfranchised himself. So enlisted him, and then started talking to my friends in other bands, you know, just kind of gauging interest and stuff like that. And the lineup that I have right now that has already said they would at least listen to the music and see if they wanted to be involved is pretty impressive.
All right, and the ideal goal would be album or tour or both?
Both.
Both, okay.
You know, and maybe even doing something afterwards that isn't necessarily covers related. You know, of course, taking into consideration whatever I'm going to be doing with System for the next couple of years as well.
Right.
Which I hope to be doing something with System, of course. But this is something that I can do for myself. It's purely for enjoyment and possibly give other people some joy too.
Awesome, awesome. And why the Kickstarter campaign outside of, obviously, it's the money. I mean, nowadays, I don't think people realize, whenever people criticize any Kickstarter campaign, they don't realize that even if you are very wealthy and have been very successful, the idea of creating a project is almost impossible unless you are a Sony BMG or unless you are a Warner Brothers Studios. You can't just create these types of things, you know?
Well, certainly the marketing aspect of it is difficult.
Right.
You know, that's what these labels are really good for. They just take your product and they market it. You know, creating it is up to you.
Distribution, too.
Distribution is very important. Well, it's less so because hard albums aren't as, you know, interesting as they were before for people to collect.
Sure.
Of course, I'm a tweak with that stuff, and I collect everything, you know, records, CDs, you name it, comics, obviously.
Is there I hate to interrupt and divert attention, or to digress, but you're a big comic book collector, and you're a big collector in general. Is there now a market again, though, for things like vinyl and original albums and cassettes and things like that? Because I've always collected vinyl, and I've always enjoyed it, but I've never really seen, like, other people buying albums when they come out new. But, you know, recently I would see, like, kids going in to buy, like, the Arcade Fire album or the Jack White album on vinyl. So I just assumed that either there's a lot of hipsters where I'm going to buy records, or there's now a market again, you know?
There was always a market for it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's definitely emerging as a greater market now, you know, especially since a lot of people just download the songs, and the quality of a download isn't anywhere near the quality of an album.
Right.
You know, if you have an LP, it's just a really drastic difference. Of course, driving around in your car is tough with a record player.
Yeah. Unless you have a really awesome car.
Right. Unless you have a bus. Maybe.
Yeah.
Even
Drew,
that is tough.
back when you were a child, was there ever cars with record players in them?
No, they'd skip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a guy just with a horn, like a big megaphone, just scream into your ear? No?
Nope.
Not like
No,
1910?
never had that.
Yeah.
Joey Brown.
Yeah.
I think you had tape decks, right?
We had eight
tracks.
Yeah,
even those were coming back. People do them every now and then.
8 tracks.
8 tracks.
Oh my
yeah.
God,
Yeah.
awful.
8-track.
It's probably more of a
terrible.
novelty.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, but it's still interesting to see.
I had an 8-track in my house and growing up, but there was only 2 8-tracks, and so I just learned those backwards and forwards. Even though one of them was crap, it was Frank Sinatra's Christmas songs.
Too funny.
Yeah, so now I hate Christmas music, but all those songs on there I know.
Well, if you're going to listen to Christmas music,
You might as well listen to
might
Frank.
as well be Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Where can people go to get started with this Kickstarter campaign?
They can go to my Facebook page,
Okay.
which is John Dolmayan on Facebook.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, they can also
Beautiful.
go to
Beautiful
Kickstarter. And another thing about Kickstarter, a few of the reasons why I decided to go with Kickstarter. Number one, I put in about $50,000 of my own money so far into this project, and I'm happy to continue to do that. But I got a friend of mine mentioned Kickstarter a while back, and I thought it was a great thing because it enables a lot of people that can't raise money, don't have the means, will never get in front of a label to be able to put their music out there or whatever, you know, whatever artistic endeavor, and have other people come check it out. Having people that are already established use Kickstarter is a great way to get other people that know nothing about Kickstarter hooked on Kickstarter.
I couldn't agree more. And Bean from Kevin and Bean was the original guy to kind of bring that up. He's a big Kickstarter user, and he'll He'll donate money and give money to a bunch of stuff, and he's very generous in that way. Some of the stuff I go, you're out of your goddamn mind. It seems dumb to me. But he's a guy who he will go there to support a Zach Braff movie or whatever it is, whatever draws him there, and he throws the money. While he's there, he's doling out the cash and delegating left and right. And I think that when you do have these gray men or a big, larger celebrity doing something, it's only going to attract attention to fund those people who aren't getting this.
There's really no negative.
Yeah.
The people that are going to go on Kickstarter and fund my project may never have heard of Kickstarter before, may never do so again. But at least if they're there, they have the opportunity to go check out other projects and bring attention to it in general.
What do you say to people who are critical of the idea of people who are established artists like yourself using Kickstarter? Because certainly there are those critics out there.
I have an initial reaction that I like to, keep quiet.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
when I calm down a little bit, then I say, look, you don't have to do it. No one's forcing you to go on there. No one's forcing you to buy our albums. No one's forcing you to go to our shows. You don't have to do any of it.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is the reality of today is that most people don't buy music. So here's a way for you to contribute and be a part of something you want to hear from the ground up.
Yeah.
And also to have unprecedented access to the process of making an album. I love the process stuff. Like if I could see back in the day behind the scenes footage from like Zeppelin or The Who or any of those bands, and if I could somehow be a part of it, I would die to get like a piece of any of Keith Moon's recording, like drumsticks or drum heads or something like that. These are things you can get from Kickstarter because we put those up there. So not only that, but like who's to say the way the music business is going to go in the future? This may be the only way to fund albums in 5 years.
There, you bring up a very good point. I mean, I'm not just saying this to kind of to brown nose or to placate you, but plenty of bands that are wildly successful, bigger than all the rest of the bands in the world. Guys like System of a Down, guys like Linkin Park, the Foo Fighters. You have to understand, the average consumer out there doesn't understand that nowadays in the given music, you do not make money selling records. Even those guys don't. You have to make your money touring. So who's to say that this isn't going to be the new norm when it comes to making music?
You'd be shocked at how much money it takes to produce an album the way we produce it.
Right.
And to do it properly. These Neve boards, they're not cheap. They're $1 million boards. And we go in and we record analog as well as digitally. So for the people that are at home that have their like systems that they work on, yeah, maybe $1,000, $2,000 can get it done. But for what we're trying to create and the quality of sound, it costs $500,000 to $800,000 per
Same with Loveline. It's $1 million a show.
I believe it. I could tell from these chairs.
Yeah. At the end of the show, Corey or Anderson, they'd urinate right on the board. Start fresh, new one.
From my understanding, that's no big deal here.
1-800-LOVE-191. We're going to take nothing but jerk calls next. John Dolmayan is here from System of a Down and from Scars on Broadway. He is a talented dude. He's got a Kickstarter campaign for These Gray Men. It's an all-star lineup that is going to do interesting covers, hopefully go on tour, make albums. Support this man in his creative endeavors. Go to his Facebook page at Facebook.com/John Dolmayan. Or you can go to Kickstarter and look for These Gray Men. More with John straight ahead here on Loveline.
Don't worry. Loveline will return right after these words of wisdom.
You mean more advertising?
Yes.
Yes, people, you can actually now go to lovelineshow.com or to our Facebook page, Facebook/Loveline, and you can get the link to the Kickstarter campaign for These Gray Men. John Dolmayan, the man behind the campaign, is with us right now. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. Hello, Ariel.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Yes,
All
what
right,
can we do
here
for
we
you?
go.
Just want to call about being half woman, half fish?
Yeah, so do you remember me calling from before?
I think I do.
Yes.
And
I
I
don't
said
remember what
some
it
other
was.
Little Mermaid joke, and you rolled your eyes and made fun of me, yeah.
What did we talk about last time?
We never got to talk because my mom came in and took my phone from me.
All right, well, there you go. So here you are.
All right.
Okay, so I'm calling about squirting.
Yeah. That's the new big thing, huh?
I'm actually glad she didn't talk about that in front of her mom.
Yeah, you're 16?
Yeah,
Why are you concerned with squirting?
because I'm just wondering how to do it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
If you're either going to
Well,
do
why
it,
not?
because you're either going to do it or you're not. It's not something you have to cultivate.
Isn't that basically urinating?
Many times. Many times.
I had it happen to me on this show. We took so many calls for
On the show you had it?
Yeah. We took so many calls about squirting that I figured I had to do the scientific research myself. So we did Squirtopia 2010,
I believe.
and I wore a snorkel and a bikini
And a mask.
No, it was and a swimmer's mask. And Joanna Angel came in here and quote unquote squirted, which she, as soon as the mic dropped, she's like, I just peed on you. Yeah. Thank you, Joanna.
I hope you were wearing a welder's mask.
Yeah, I
So
was.
listen,
I should have been.
you're worrying about that at 16 is a mistake. So don't worry about it. It'll happen or it won't. Okay.
I have another question.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was wondering, I was wondering the side effects of, having premarital sex because, this is, really weird and stuff, but, this freshman has been bothering me to, have sex with him and stuff, and I don't want to do it.
Then don't do it.
Okay.
Don't worry about premarital, this, that. If you don't want to have sex with someone, you absolutely should not have sex with them.
The biggest side effect is you'll be too attached to somebody that you don't really want to be attached to.
Oh, dude, I don't get attached at all. I'm like, fuck one and done.
Oh, whoa. Ariel.
So, Ariel, what happened to you? What's going on? What's
You're
the problem?
16 years old. Oh.
Yeah, what's the matter? What happened?
Nothing.
No.
don't say that.
Where's your dad?
My biological father's dead.
What happened?
He was shot and killed.
Holy mackerel.
Okay, so when I asked you what happened, you're nothing. What? How dare you? Yeah, your biological father was murdered.
He was shot and killed,
Yeah.
Ariel. That's insane. I mean, that's really intense.
Massive. Was it something you had to witness?
No, it was something that my mom witnessed. He died in her arms.
Okay.
Oh.
So there's this massive trauma. How old were you at the
No,
time?
I'm not that traumatized. I actually have.
How old were you at the
that's actually
time?
Really good.
How old were you at the time?
I was probably 2 or 3.
Okay, so that's massive. That's massive. That's
And I wasn't there.
it's a huge trauma too. And then how have the men been that have paraded through since?
Fine. They've all been good. I feel like I was molested as a child, but I'm not sure because I can't remember. Because I feel like you guys have talked to people in the past before, they don't remember it.
Yeah.
Because they block it out, and I feel like I've blocked it out, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so you've had nothing happen to you except you were sexually abused and your father was murdered when you were 2. I'm not sure I can paint a picture of a childhood filled with more than that. You understand?
Yeah, I understand, Dr. Drew.
So when you say nothing happened, that's just massive, massive denial.
Yeah, and you're not a dumb girl. We could tell. You're pretty sharp and you're pretty aware that definitely things happen. So it's just better off you shouldn't be so defensive, Ariel, because it is definitely having effects. You're 16 and you're worried about squirting and you're talking about how you don't get attached to people that you have sex with. That's not something to be proud of. I mean, being able to detach from people that you share sexual relationships with is actually not a good thing. And look,
it's not a good. It's a sign of pathology.
Right.
Let's be fair. It's a sign of real serious
But
trouble.
to be fair, Ariel, I spent a lot of my time right at your age doing the same thing, claiming the same thing. And then, I get to be 25, 26 years old, and then I realize just how much of an impact my sexual partners had at 13, 14, 15 years old. It was very, very serious sexual impact on me. But, and I can understand how you would want to be able to detach or at least claim that you could, but it's not a good thing. And just worry about Ariel. That's all I got to say. I mean, you sound like a smart girl, and I just want to make sure you're okay, all right?
Okay.
Please get treatment for all that.
And let's see, what was I going to say? Tell Rudy I said hi.
You want to talk to him real quick?
Sure.
All right, hold on.
Oh, geez.
Rudy, come here.
Hey, Rudy.
Rudy,
Oh, boy.
hey, listen.
Hey,
Did you hear this? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Rudy, you sure? You
Yeah,
got this.
listen, because, my daughter, Consuela, they call her Misty.
Yeah.
She's 16, too.
Misty number 2?
Yeah, Misty number 2. My other prima.
Yeah.
My prima's name is
Yeah.
Misty, so she's Misty
Yeah.
number. Anyway, so, Ariel, you sound like a really nice girl. You should just take care of yourself and realize that you're worth it, and,
How
you
about
should
all this
respect yourself.
denial? I mean, maybe you can break through some of that.
No, because I was in, because my dad, he bounced, when I was 11, and, and I was because he was a vato, he was a real gangbanger, dog. So I always tried to play tough, but it definitely hurt me, and it made me act out.
He was a little rough on you too, physically.
Well, no, yeah, because one time we were we got in an axe fight.
You and your dad.
No, me and my dad got in an axe fight with some other vatos. We were leaving medieval times, dog.
Yeah.
And he bought me a little axe, and he had one too. He's like, "Hey, Rudy, let's go. We gotta go pump the gas."
Yeah.
And we were in Buena Parque, right
Yeah.
there by
You actually got in a fat.
and then
back-
some other vatos came
Yeah.
up with an axe, and we like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and you were 7.
I was 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
In the axe fight.
A lot of traumatic stuff happening.
I know. I blasted a guy's arm off. I was 7. I was scared. That's how I got the scar right there.
Oh,
a lot of people think it was in the pen, dog.
Yeah.
But no, it was an axe fight.
Wow.
Hey, so Ariel,
You changed, man.
I want to say when you're 16, just make sure that you work on your schooling and stuff like that. And if you go to school here in California, you could get counseling for free. Every school has to have a counselor. You just go and talk to someone,
Oh, dude, I'm totally cool on that.
All right,
I'm
good.
I have a count.
Oh, mom's back in again. Her mom keeps still taking her phone.
Her
from
mom's creeper.
I hope the
mom's always
I hope
creepy, dog.
though she's honest with those therapists.
Hey, John, I just want to say what's up, dog. I'm a big fan of all your music, and I like what you do, and I'm gonna throw down a couple bucks for these great men, dog.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Rudy was telling me you taught him about what Armenians Armenians
Did,
do.
dog. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up in Boyle Heights, dog. It's right down the street from Montebello and Glendale, so I had a lot of Armenian friends, dog.
Oh, no kidding.
It's true. My friend Razmik, his grandma, she used to hook it up with the baklava, dog. It was great.
Oh,
And one time, when I got out of the pen, Razmik, he brought his grandma's baklava to visit me,
Yeah.
and I just got done with trucha blasting my culo.
Yeah.
So I made baklava bublug. It was delicious, dog. It was nice.
And did you have to when you went back to the pen? Did you have to keister it to get it in?
I did, dog, because it was so delicious,
Yeah, yeah.
dog. The food there, I thought my mom's cooked good, but I was like, damn, dog, no, hook it up, bring in some baklava, dog. And I had to, by that time, my culo
You
was
thought
already
it was a walnut burrito or something.
no, but by that time, dog, my culo was already augered out all good, so I could put a
Plenty of
Chevy.
space.
Yeah, I put a Chevy in there.
Maybe a whole tray of baklava.
No, I put all of baklava in there.
What's the flour, the spread, the one that's shaped like sort of a square with the walnuts on top in it? It's not rolled up.
The what?
Oh well, forget it. I was thinking Rudy could fit those in. That'd be a pretty good deal.
What, you mean a flauta?
Yeah.
Where's this show going?
Later, Rudy.
Bye, Rudy. Thanks for helping with what's her name? Ariel.
Ariel, yeah. 1-800-LOVE.
That's a nice segue.
Yeah. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. Like Rudy said, support John Dolmayan's new project, These Gray Men. It's going to be an all-star cast of musicians putting together very interesting cover songs, and they're going to make an album, hopefully a tour. It all starts with you, though, people. Support him on Kickstarter. You can go to Loveline's Facebook page, and there's a link right there. Or you can go to John's Facebook page at John Dolmayan /John Dolmayan on Facebook. It's time for the open forum right now. Boys, you and I were all spoken for. Right, John? You got yourself a lady. You've had one for a long time. Dr. Drew's been married for 90 years. He just celebrated his anniversary this weekend with his beautiful wife Susan. I'm a married man. I have my first child. So we've been out of the game. But I took a little peek into the game over the weekend. I went to a social gathering, talked to some beautiful young ladies, and they were talking to me about their single life here as a young woman and all the things that they deal with young men today. I need to talk to people about modern men's game because it's insane.
Their courtship, how they behave during their courtship behaviors. Both the game that they're spitting the
horrible game.
Yeah,
they're spitting horrible game. They're disrespectful. They're not cordial at all. They don't seem to understand that women are human beings, not just vagina facilitating machines. Now, my sample size was like 6 guys of
Six women. Yeah.
No, 6 guys through the mouths of these women.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm totally off, but it seems like with Tinder and Facebook and all this, guys have turned into animals. Am I right? Am I wrong? Call us up with stories of the modern man's game here on Loveline.
It's time for you to give us your opinions and insight. Mother has old-fashioned ideas. Well, I don't approve of it. Here's tonight's open forum.
It is time for the open forum. Normally, we take calls on whatever it is that's bothering you, but during the open forum, we gear it. We gear this show to one single topic, and tonight's topic is modern male game. Meaning, what goes on? How do guys approach women? How do guys treat women on dates? What is the ethic of the modern man? The modern heterosexual man, I should say. Well, no. Why limit it to that? I was only looking into the world of the modern heterosexual man, but maybe gay guys have changed too. Maybe there's a whole... With Grindr and whatnot, maybe there's a whole new, different kind of ethic. But I was shocked to hear just how coarse and how kind of disconnected a lot of young men are in their behavior and how they treat people in the dating scene nowadays. And so call me up, ladies, call me up, men, and either defend yourself or tell me that I am right. Our guest this evening is John Dolmayan. He is most well known for being the drummer of System of a Down. He is also the man behind the new Kickstarter campaign for These Gray Men. Find it on Kickstarter or find the link at Loveline's Facebook page. Hello, Chris. Start us off.
Well, yeah, I was saying that basically, you know, women today kind of send out messages, send out signals based on them, you know, acting like the Kardashians and acting like Rihanna and acting like Miley Cyrus and acting like all these kind of female role models, porn stars. You know, we get this idea that women are just men without penises now, and that.
No, that's a very interesting point. That's actually not just like a crazy statement. Yeah, I mean, so you're saying that women are sexualizing themselves, so it's not even men's fault to kind of treat them that way.
Well, it's not just men's fault. You know what I mean? Like the young guys who coming up today see all these women who are super sexualized, and they say, okay, well, they're down for whatever. And since they're liberated and free now, we can just come to them and talk to them like, okay, they're just you know, guys without the penis.
Right.
You know, and so essentially they're just the same exact thing that we are, just without the penis. And so what's the big deal? We're all, you know, kind of can do all this together, and, you know, they're acting like porn stars and strippers anyway, so, you know.
All right. So why not treat them that way?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
How did men get so far away from, given how the understanding people have of the differences that exist, how do we get so far off track?
The feminists?
The differences. The
No,
differences
you
are,
said the feminists.
the feminists, there's kind of a new feminism, right?
Yeah, the new feminists say that women love sex just as much as men do.
No, that's the old feminists. That they're all the same. That was the 70s. You're seeing that was ground into us.
Well, it's just sinking in now because, like I said, it's just, you know, well, they all want to be porn stars. Now they act like porn stars. A lot of them act like porn stars.
I think
you see Miley Cyrus, you see
Right.
Rihanna, you see all these super sexualized pop stars, and these are who the girls imitate now. And
hey, listen, you bring up a good point. And I have to say that whether or not Chris is right, one thing we can't deny is that young men today get inundated with a lot more imagery of women being sexualized and objectified.
Yeah.
Right. I just, even if I searched for it when I was 17,
couldn't find it.
It was hard to find women being objectified. When I got my hands on it, it was awesome, and then I drowned myself in my own essence. But nowadays, you are inundated, not even talking about porn, just turning on the TV, going to Instagram. It's easy. It's women are in your face, being objectifying themselves, being overly sexualized. So maybe you're right, Chris.
It's harder to stay focused too.
Sure.
There's so much out there. There's so much you could see, so much you could view.
Yeah.
That for someone to retain your focus and attention, they have to be a little more, outgoing.
Yeah, John brings up a good point. Drew says that that's a lot of the reason why a lot of young men aren't even that interested in dating. They're not so girl crazy as like I was. When I was 14 to 22, I was insane. I was a caveman. All I could think about was like trying to meet chicks, trying to get laid. And a lot of young men, college-age men nowadays, they're not that pumped because they have such awesome porn and stuff.
Forget about that. It's really easy to get laid.
Yeah.
Back when
it's really easy to get laid,
it wasn't so easy.
Well, it's really easy to get laid if you're in System of a Down. It's probably really easy.
I have a fiance now, so those days are over. But it was really easy. But even before that, it just seemed like it was a little more difficult, a little more effort, and people had a little more self-respect.
Yeah.
And you can blame that on the feminist movement if you want. But if women are going to be equal to men, then yeah, we're both sexual beings and we both want sex. So why are we even having this conversation? Women are free to have sex. Men are free to have sex with each other or with their own, gender.
Bree, hello. What do you think about modern male game? Why is it so? Why was it so shocking to me to get a little access into the modern male?
So, to me, when it's a little shocking to me because the way guys perceive girls now is oh, well, it's Miley Cyrus, just playing off of what the past guest said is I feel like the reason why girls of such young age or of whatever age you are going after that is because that's exactly what men or guys our age want today, because that's what's put out on social media now. It's you see this girl with a six-pack or see a girl in skimpy clothes. It's oh, well, that guy I likes that, I'm gonna act like that. So girls want that attention,
right?
Sure.
So of course they're gonna want to do that. So it's hard to come across a guy that's gonna be nice, and that's why girls are just as sexual beings as guys now, and that's why it's so hard to relate or find a good guy to even pick up on you.
Well, okay, I think you're right. I definitely think that certainly young women's own image of themselves has changed, or at least what they want to be, the idealized version of what women's are. But why does that change the way guys treat women?
Well, here's what she said. I behave like that so that guy I like will like me, and that guy is going to behave the way he behaves so he can have sex, period.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Period.
Listen, but okay, here's my point, Bree. And how old are you? Do you mind me asking?
19.
Okay, you're 19. When I was 19, I really wanted to have sex with girls. And I really didn't want to date them. I really wanted to have sex only. But I still treated them with some level of respect. The way that these guys were treating these girls, who, by the way, were not Instagram whores. These were like real dime pieces, all working, really good jobs, really beautiful, very well spoken, educated, the whole deal. And these guys were making them pay for date number one, not opening the doors for them, asking them if they squirt.
But you think that's common?
That's the question.
Yeah, that's what's
I don't
crazy.
think that's common.
That's what is common now, because that's the best you can get for some people.
That's what
and
it
that's
sounds
what
like.
sucks. Is it's you can't find that guy who's going to open the door for you anymore, because what girls want to be pushed away and be pulled back.
But you will find that guy if you exercise a little bit of self-respect and restraint. And if you treat yourself with respect and demand that respect from the person you're dating, whether they're a guy or a girl, you'll get it. And if you don't get it from the guy that you're with, you'll get it from the next one. And it's just a matter of being patient.
Yeah, it's also the girls who are accepting the behavior. You don't have to act like that if that's what you don't want.
Right. That's exactly right.
Right. Listen, maybe it's an age thing too. Maybe it's these girls were all 28 to about 32. I don't know. Bree, thank you though for
I
your
wouldn't
input.
want to have a daughter right now.
I just had one, and I'm starting to wonder what I'm going to do.
Well, it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
You know, it's going to be tough. You just have to arm them with self-respect.
Yeah, and it is tough because, you know, in the 80s even, not even, no, even in the 90s, when I was in high school, if you wanted to have people, by and large, critique a picture of you, you had to be a model. You had to be in Cosmopolitan magazine or something. Now everyone has people critique pictures of them. Everyone. It's part of life, and I wonder how that's going to make people feel.
Yeah, it's different. And plus, you see pictures of yourself and videos of yourself all the time.
Yeah.
In my high school days, you would get a picture taken beginning of the year, and that was the only picture you'd see of yourself maybe all year long.
True.
If you're lucky, if you're at the athletic team, you'd see one picture of yourself in some play.
Listen,
I mean, some
yearbook or something.
Yeah, in the yearbook.
If everybody had a phone in their hand, or excuse me, a camera in their hands, like in 1999,
imagine,
I'd still be in jail from just all the dumb stuff. Hello, Bob.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
What's up, dude?
Hey, Dr. Drew. You actually weren't here last time I called. It was a few days ago.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
And I was looking through my Instagram while you were talking about the open forum, and I made a small correlation, I guess. I see, like, I'm 19, guys of my generation, you know, calling girls, I don't know if I can say the B word on there.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, yeah, calling girls bitches and, you know, just dirty game spitting.
Yeah.
You know, you see these guys end up with these dirty girls, like not classy girls. And now I see these guys I went to high school with, they used to talk like that, and they all have girls pregnant at age 20, and, you know, it's just...
So you think that it brings you to whatever, you kind of get brought into whatever lifestyle you want to lead. If you're going to be that guy, you're going to get brought down into it.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, dude. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. Real quick, I have to let you know, John, that at this_is_Esparza, he just backed These Gray Men on Kickstarter. He wanted me to personally let you know he's a huge fan of yours. Not just of System of a Down and other and Scars on Broadway. He's a huge fan of yours. So he just backed These Gray Men. You should all back These Gray Men. It's John Dolmayan's new Kickstarter campaign, an all-star lineup of talented musicians who are going to do very interesting and exotic cover versions of songs. Maybe an album, maybe a tour, who knows? It all lies in your hands, people. Go to Kickstarter, find out about These Gray Men. Or you can just link up to it on Loveline's Facebook page. Right now we're in the middle of the open forum. We want to know, what's your take on modern men's game? It seems to have gotten out of control. Just from my little glimpse into it, it seems like guys are a lot more aggressive and a lot less cordial nowadays. And that's coming from my mouth. Am I wrong? Ladies, men, call me up. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. It's Loveline.
One call is all it takes. 1-800-LOVE-191. 1-800-LOVE-191. Start punching in the numbers now so you're ready when Loveline returns.
Tune in on Real Self-Knowledge.
Loveline.
We want to know embarrassing public bathroom stories. Dr. Drew, allow me to read a text I received from the ever so talented stand-up Eddie Ift, our friend.
The great Eddie Ift.
The great Eddie Ift texted me, "You are killing me tonight with the S stories," the S word.
Yeah.
I want to hear one from Dr. Drew.
All right. I'm not a very good storyteller, but let me try
If
to...
you're talking about you pooing, it's all I need.
The great Lisa Bloom, who is Gloria Allred's daughter.
Yes.
Attorney.
Yeah, Lisa Bloom.
Yeah. She took me out to a vegan restaurant right down the street here.
Yes.
And
Native Cafe. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And see, for I have a very sensitive system.
Native foods.
Native foods. Yeah.
Well, the next day I was flying to New York, or Atlanta, I think, or something like that. I can't remember what city I was going to, but flying a fair distance, and en route, it starts the activities going. And I thought, oh, this is a mess. I'm on a plane, for Christ's sake. But I let a little bit seep out to try to relieve the gaseous accumulation. I spend time in the bathroom and stuff, and I come back and I'm like, God, I'm sweating a lot. My ass is so sweaty. I can't believe it. These seats are crap here. I am so sweaty, and I'm thinking, I hope that's sweat. I hope that's what that is. I really hope. But I'm thinking, no, things aren't like lining up for me in terms of what I'm smelling. And I begin to put two and two together, and now I'm running out of the plane because we land, run out of the plane, have to in a stall, basically bathing in a toilet bowl, throwing away the underwear, throwing away the pants. And thank God I had some luggage with me. Yeah. That was a mess. Yeah. It was bad times.
What are they, nice pants?
No, like jeans, crappy travel jeans, And
crappy, I get it.
Yeah. And that's my story with vegan food. Loved it. It was great going down. Didn't agree with it the next day.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of fiber to try to take down in one.
Bathing in the toilet bowl was the interesting part. I literally had to wash off.
Yeah.
Using because it was a public bathroom and I couldn't go to the sink because I had no pants or.
That'd be next level if you did. And people are just walking in. You're like, what's up? How you doing? Just ballsinis right on the sink.
Showering off.
Yeah. Your massive Pinsky dong just smacking the ground. One 800-LOVE-191 is the number. John Dolmayan joins us this evening. It's been far too long since he's come back here to the Loveline studios, but he is here, and he has a new Kickstarter campaign called These Gray Men. It's his new band that he's putting together, full of very talented musicians. They're going to do cover songs and make an album. They're going to tour, but it all starts with you and the Kickstarter campaign. So support These Gray Men. Go to Kickstarter or link to it at the Loveline Facebook page. We're in the middle of the open forum talking about men's game.
Or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof nowadays. Listen, I understand. I'm not trying to... It's not the pot calling the kettle black. I understand that my language can get a little out of control, especially towards women on this radio show. But I just didn't know that guys commonly don't pay the bill nowadays, even if they have money, that they don't open the door for women, and that they also are so sexually aggressive on Facebook, Tinder, and when they pick up girls in bars and in social environments. I think that things have changed and shifted. I want to know if I'm correct. So the modern male kind of social ethic when it comes to romance, please do call us up and talk to us about it at 1-800-LOVE-191. Hello, Africa.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
How you guys doing? I just feel that, they're scared. I feel that men are scared because we're a little bit too aggressive, but not forward aggressive. With the I say negative role models that us women do have to look up to, we put ourselves out there. And since we can't communicate with each other, we confuse each other. So we put ourselves out there yes, we want you to call us this and call us that and treat us this way, but we don't want that. So in turn, they're scared because we're coming off a little too hard.
Yeah,
and then they start coming off too hard, and then everybody's just doing the opposite of what we really want them to do.
But Africa, I have to say that guys have always been scared of women. I mean, that's been since the dawn of time. You're really intimidated by the prospect of a girl you find attractive. That is the most intimidating, scary thing in the world, trying to approach a girl.
But guys don't generally do anything different than what they're allowed to do.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not doing something opposite of what they want. They're doing exactly what they want, and you're letting them get away with it. It's
True.
very different than what you're saying the women are doing, which is the opposite of what they want. That's not what the men are doing. They're doing exactly what they want.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right.
And I
feel there's a lack of communication.
Yeah,
We can't
certainly.
talk to each other.
Certainly, and I feel like, look, you can't talk to each other, and we've always had a problem since the beginning of man and women. We've always had a problem communicating with each other, but I feel like Dr. Drew's onto something in that guys kind of just go with what they're allowed to do, and I never have been able to communicate successfully with women, even with my wife, who I communicate with better than any other woman on the planet. It's still a kind of a touch-and-go thing, but I would never think to start off with being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's their go-to nowadays, it seems like. And that's like the kind of the good guy. It seems like, you know what I'm saying? When you have something like Tinder where you can essentially find vagina GPS in your local radius, it kind of skews things a little, you know?
Right.
But you still have to sign up for it. You have to be interested in that.
Yeah.
And I'd say the majority of people aren't. You know, from my experiences dating, you still have to show respect, and if you don't, you get a nice slap across the face.
Yeah, I guess I always assumed that I was lucky to meet girls that were smart and beautiful and funny and like get dates with them because I had a cool job and I was always had friends with people with cool jobs, and it like kind of just fell into me.
But the prospect of going to dinner and having your date pay for it is really alien to me.
Right.
Just because I was raised, first of all, to argue over every check,
right,
which is a very Armenian thing to do. Fist fights break out over that stuff, you know. And to go to a dinner with my date and have her pay for dinner, even on my birthday, is something that I can't allow to have.
I totally agree, and part of me sees that as old-fashioned and archaic, but at the same time, it's just who I listen.
There's a mix you can have, right? There's a balance.
Both of us saying that, it sounds like there's a lot of guys out there listening that go, "Well, yeah, but you guys have tons of dough." No, I made $18,000 until like 2007.
I think everyone in this room had the days where they were barely surviving.
Yeah,
and
Drew still does. Drew's barely getting by right now. Yeah.
He's tough. Well, he doesn't work that hard.
Yeah,
but you still had like your upbringing, you know, your common sense, and
right.
I think that men in general, at least I hope, generally speaking, think we have to defend women in certain ways.
Yeah,
you know, like that's our instinct.
I agree.
Am I wrong on that?
I mean, no, I think, you know, I'm starting to agree with you more and more. And I always assumed that guys who were leading with like how big their dick was as a pickup line, or like I always
listen.
thought
I can't say I've never done that.
Listen, I have truly never done that because I have.
I'm talking about your dick. I live with that.
You've opened by masturbating, so relax.
Well, that happened, but Drew, again, these were not girls that I was trying to date, and these were not pickup lines. I was going to the bathroom to do blow with a girl that I just met, and I was like, why not start beating off? Maybe something good will happen.
Right. Excuse me. I hope my beating off doesn't interrupt your blow.
Hello, Nick.
Hi.
Hi, what's happening?
Well, I don't know if you guys remember me before. I called in actually a previous winner of 710. My girlfriend and I got a really good relationship. Ever since I became a stripper, my perspective of women has changed.
Oh, you are a male stripper?
Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me,
I've danced
exotic
at
dancer.
bachelorette parties, women about to get married, and it disgusts me.
Oh, dude, were you the one that called the other day that farted?
What?
That was anonymous. I don't remember that.
Remember, Drew, we were doing the most embarrassing moment, and an exotic dancer
Oh,
called,
yeah,
and he said his first.
We don't know that one.
Okay, his very first time out, Anonymous's first time out on the job, he farted and it would stunk, and yeah.
Right.
Okay, so anyway, Nick, Anonymous.
So how were the women behaving that it disgusted you?
It's disgusting. You know, the way girls throw themselves at me. Also, you might remember my girlfriend's in a wheelchair. I get so many props for that. And I always ask them, why do I get props because my girlfriend's in a wheelchair? I have 3 kids. She's accepted me for that. She cooks, cleans better than any other girl that I've ever talked to. it just, I don't know, the way girls are nowadays, their standards are so low for guys that they expect, oh, he's a stripper, all he's going to want is sex. Let's do it. I'm like, that's disgusting for me, you know?
Well, I do think that women's standards have lowered.
No, but I'm trying to figure out what disgusts him. Are the brides doing this, and that's what you're having trouble with, or are the other women doing it as well?
The brides and all their friends, yeah.
And they're actually.
I could never be with a girl like that.
And they're actually trying. And they're actually.
I'm there to make money. I'm not there to get girls.
And they're actually trying to have sex with you.
Oh, they'll do anything. Oh, yeah, you'll never believe. Yeah, you wouldn't believe what they've offered. Yeah. And even I'm turning it down. I'm like, wow. And they're like surprised. Like, wow, I respect that you turned it down. That's crazy. But
Nick, you have hold on. You have a very interesting perspective and a very interesting vantage point towards women. But to be fair, just like I said with the 5 or 6 guys that I'm basing all of young men on, don't you think it's unfair to base all of modern women on the girls that order you up? You know, that's probably not the line.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I'm basing my perspective off the Bay Area. I'm 29 years old. Girls in the Bay Area, it's very hard to come by to find a clean girl that doesn't either smoke weed. I've had 10 or more partners before the age of 21. You know, I'm not into girls like that.
Or they're a Giants fan, which is that's pretty much that's like being a pedophile. It really is.
All right. Anyway, that's his opinion. Good. All righty. Thank you.
1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. Hello, Troy.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
I have a point here.
Yeah.
I think that we're so used to talking to these girls on like Tinder and on Facebook. We're so used to just having that perspective of girls and talking to them sexually on Tinder and not really looking for dating. It just goes back to when we see them in person, it's just normal to us to talk that way.
Now, I think, Mike, this is what you were getting at. This is sort of the sense that you had, is that they're desensitized to the human connection, and they got used to these sort of things like Tinder.
Is this Serge's cousin, Mike?
No, this guy's Troy.
Oh, okay. They said Mike.
No, but thank you, Troy. Listen, it's got to change your view on things. If I had Tinder, I'm not clowning guys nowadays. If I was 19 with Tinder, it'd be insane. I'd just be constantly walking around looking for girls that are willing to have sex with me in my 2-mile radius.
But it's any of that stuff. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of it. You can hook up anywhere you want.
Yeah.
It's so much easier than actually going somewhere, meeting someone, and talking to them because there's no defenses up.
Yeah. Yeah, that does suck, talking to people.
It's the worst.
By rude man. Okay. Ted, hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, yeah. You know what? I listening to the show for a long time. I thought of an interesting point regarding this open forum.
Uh-huh.
You know, with everything that, you know, both males and females are subjected to nowadays, and even with the one of the previous young female callers earlier on this particular show, you see where I'm going with this?
No,
not
at all.
You didn't say anything.
What's that?
You didn't say anything. You said I came up with the conclusion.
You said based on what the earlier caller said. You get where I'm going?
Well, no. I guess what I'm getting at is, you know, where she was in denial about all this previous trauma that she had. You know, how many girls nowadays see just as much as we've seen up to this point, and are basically, you know, in that denial and just feeding into.
So he's talking about before the open forum. That trauma.
Okay, so he's saying maybe there's more trauma.
Yeah, but she's right. There is.
Michelle, what do you think?
Well, I feel like now men are just so aggressive and disrespectful, and there's times I've been to bars and I'd be hit on, and I'll try and put them down as politely, respectfully as I can, and I would be called a slut or stuck up or all kinds of names, or just guys are just so rude, or I don't know if they just can't be rejected or what it is.
Well, okay.
We're asking you.
Do you think that that's a new phenomenon? Because, I mean, no guy likes to be rejected, but I do think it's part of the deal. Like, everyone gets shot down, right?
Yeah, well, I feel like that actually happens quite often with me and other people, other friends, and I don't know, maybe because now women can maybe be pickier now, or maybe are more confident, and the guys, like, they feel more confident rejecting guys versus just having to. Because when I was younger, I always would just talk to anyone that came up to me, and now I feel more confident, like, actually saying no or politely rejecting them.
Huh. Okay.
That sounds like a good thing.
Justin, what do you think?
So I've been dating for about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And just my experience with online dating in particular.
Yes.
So the men have kind of tainted the pool, so to speak, and because they're so forward and so vulgar that the women, like right out of the chute, you know, when the guys talk to them who actually want to date and be respectful and be chivalrous, they almost don't believe you when you're talking to them. So for me, when I first have an initial conversation with a woman, it's like I have to almost explain myself without even like having an initial conversation. They just automatically assume that I'm going to be some
a-hole,
you know, vulgar, scummy guy that just wants to get in their pants. So once I get over that hurdle, then it turns into, oh, well, you should be doing this for me, and you should be doing this, like, all this other stuff. And I'm like, where'd this sense of entitlement come from? I was like, if you look up chivalry, says nothing about men should be doing this for women. Chivalry is just about respect across the board, about doing good things for people no matter what race you are, what gender.
All right, now you're getting too philosophical on me. John Dolmayan's here. We're going to talk more about These Great Men, his new Kickstarter campaign. Plenty to talk about now. We're also going to take your calls regarding anything you want. Thank you to everybody who called for that open forum. It was enlightening. It was enlightening. 1-800-LOVE-191's the number. It's Loveline.
One call is all it takes.
Exactly.
1-800-LOVE-191. 1-800-LOVE-191. Loveline's coming back. Loveline.
My name is Emily Morse from SexWithEmily.com, and this is the Loveline High Five.
Who was your first celebrity crush?
My first celebrity crush was... I don't have celebrity crushes. I have like weird crushes, like presidents, like Bill Clinton.
That would be a celebrity for sure.
Good.
Boobs or butts?
Butts.
Butts. All right. Think you have a reason?
Just because the butt is like your natural given thing, and I live in LA, the land of any kind of boobs you want. So still got, not that you can't get a fake butt, but, and I just like butts. Always and forever, when I'm with you, there's always tomorrow.
It's the zombie apocalypse. Choose your weapon.
My weapon would be, I was thinking cucumber. It would probably be one of these huge vibrators I have sitting, like these huge dildos I have sitting in my garage where all the sex toys are. Because they're huge and kind of scary and intimidating too.
You could put it on the end of a broomstick even.
I could put it on a broomstick.
And just have like a big,
and it's a big penis coming at you.
big
so
dildo staff.
it's kind of scary. And intimidating to men. If I'm fighting men, they'd be like, whoa, that's a big one, my penis is small.
When you're fighting zombies, they don't know the difference. You've been asked to pose for Playboy. What is your go-to pose?
My go-to pose. I'd cover up.
All right.
I don't want to show anything.
Last one. Will you give me a high five?
Of course. Rude.
Oh, there we go. All right, that's it.
Loveline.
Hey guys, we're the Janoskians, and this is the Loveline High Five.
Who's your first celebrity crush?
Mila Kunis. Actually, it was Hilary Duff. My first celebrity crush was Shakira. Lindsay Lohan.
Ooh, I'm actually so stuck on this one.
What's the strangest place you ever had sex?
Ever had sex?
Yeah.
Sex? Sex?
What is that?
Is that scratch your head? Allowed? It's kind of personal.
Paper or plastic?
Paper. Oh, I never thought about that. What can you do more? Paper because it's recyclable and we don't. Plastic is recyclable.
Plastic is recyclable.
Yeah, but it kills animals in the sea.
But if you recycle it, you won't go in the sea.
Boobs or butts?
Butts, boobs.
No, boobs can go in the sea.
Both.
No,
Either or neither. Definitely either. Maybe just the gun.
That's a weapon.
Just the gun. Let go. Nah, I'm not letting go. I'm not. Let go. Wow.
You've been asked to pose. You've been asked to pose for Playboy. What's your go-to pose?
Oh, Daniel's amazing at poses. Daniel.
All right. That's good.
That was on behalf of all of us.
Hey, John, what game are you playing there?
I wasn't playing it right now. It's
Oh,
Clash of Clans.
Well, is Clash of Clans? I need a good game to play, and
I
I'm
got
not a
hooked
gamer.
on a stupid game, and now I'm in deep trouble.
Yeah, I'm not a gamer, and I mean, when I do play games, I enjoy them. When I go to my friend's house who have a PS4 or an Xbox One, or
Well, this is on your phone.
Right. I need a game that I
even
can
more
play.
trouble.
I need a game I can play on a computer, or on my phone, or both. That is going to keep my attention. Because I no more of these Candy Crush, Angry Birds. I need a game, a
Just
real
keep your
game.
habit of going through the Twitter feeds of the model pictures and stuff.
Try Clash of Clans.
Okay, Clash of
You
Clans.
like medieval type
I do.
stuff?
I
You
do.
know,
I
it's
dig that. Yeah.
kind of based in that.
All right, cool.
What's your current Twitter obsession?
Me?
Yeah.
You mean chicks?
Yeah.
Tiana Gregory. Tiana Gregory on Instagram is she's my number one right now. Always Miranda Kerr. Always.
But do you follow a Twitter feed that's something
Candace Swanpole?
Okay.
Yeah, but a lot of my Twitter feeds are
Swanpole.
Yeah,
That's a fantastic name.
yeah, I know she's South African. But there's this young girl who's a model. Her name's Tiana Gregory, who's insane. Adrian Ho. Adrian Ho's on fire.
You got to see these models in person, though.
I agree.
Sometimes it's rough.
Yeah.
You know, and they take real good pictures, and they got the nice cheekbones and everything. But you see them in person, and it's kind of like seeing Skeletor or something
Yeah.
like that.
A lot of people say that about me. In person, I'm Skeletor.
You're much more handsome in person.
Thank you. John Dolmayan is here from System of a Down. He also is the man behind These Gray Men. Follow his Kickstarter campaign and support him. Go to Kickstarter, look for These Gray Men, at These Gray Men on Twitter, or Facebook /These Gray Men. Hello, Melanie.
Hello.
What's up?
It's more of a question for Dr. Drew, but
Yep.
I listen to the show. Love you both. Thank you.
Thank you.
System of a Down. Always loved the band.
Thank you.
But I'm transgendered, and I've been on hormones for over a year, but they've been trying to figure out why I have an elevated white cell count. And they first were thinking leukemia. I've had bone marrow biopsy, ultrasound of my abdomen, CT scan of my chest, abdomen, and pelvis, and everything's negative.
How high's your white count?
It's ranged anywhere from 16,000 to 20,000, I believe.
And your spleen's okay?
I'm sorry?
Your spleen is normal? Have they ultrasound your spleen? Is it normal size?
Yeah, well, there's nothing that's been out of the ordinary. Everything's unremarkable according to the scans and everything.
So it's some
I've
sort of
seen in the
reaction,
reports.
to the hormones, right?
That's the only thing, I guess my oncologist / whatever he is now, because I don't have cancer, but they think I do, or I don't know. But he's going to do, he's ordered all these tests, and he's like, well, that's one of the things I'm going to eventually have to rule out. But I don't understand how the hormones would cause an elevation, you
you're taking an exogenous hormone that is excessive for your body. I mean, that's the thing about, you're taking a medication when you take these hormones. And when you take a medication, the side effect potential is protein. It can be lots of different things, sometimes very hard to predict. You're taking an extra physiologic amount of a substance. That's what a medication is. It's not like
So you think that's a feasible answer?
100%. 100%.
Okay. So what would that mean for my treatment?
That I don't know. That you have to talk to the guys or the experts. It may mean nothing. It may just, there are lots of, which direction you're going? You're going female to male or male to female?
Male to female.
Yeah, those hormones have all kinds of hematologic effects, and some of them are dangerous, and you have to be careful. And that blood clotting, liver problems.
What's a rata come by? Blood clot.
All kinds of stuff you can get.
I understand most of the risks. I just, I was wondering what it has to do with the white cell count, and I guess it's a medication that's being introduced to my body that obviously my body is possibly not reacting well to, because I know I had lab tests up to about a year and some months ago.
Right, your body's reacting to it.
Hormones, and they were normal. And
that's right. The same thing as if you had an operation to change your gender. The operation could go bad. You could have complications. It's an operation. These are dangerous medical maneuvers. Taking medication is a dangerous medical maneuver.
And Melanie's 35. I'm just curious, is it harder as you get a little older? I mean, a lot of times we talk to transgender.
Everything is.
We talk to transgender people in 1920.
Yeah. I don't think it's that much different at 35, but everything's harder as you get older.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that's harder is I told my spouse before I got married, and she was cool with it, and then she decided that she's not cool with it.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. That's rough.
So that's been kind of a speed bump in the process. So I don't know if stress has anything to do with white cell count or anything like that.
No, not like this.
No, you're probably. I mean, you're giving your body hormonal trauma, essentially. So you just.
I mean, why is it more conceivable to go? Oh, I understand. If I had a surgery, got an infection, had some terrible complication. Oh, well, that's surgery. Medication is just as dangerous. Same thing. Same phenomenon.
I don't know. I just see a surgery as there's open incisions, wounds.
Medication
higher
is
likelihood for infection opposed to taking a medication.
No, all medicine are dangerous. Right. Every medicine is dangerous. Period. There's not. I can't think of a medicine you could take that can't kill you. 12 Tylenol will kill you. That's medicine. It's dangerous.
There you go, Melanie. Good luck with everything, and stay strong. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Drew.
Yeah.
Am I correct in saying that Vicodin, when it's taken, is like the transport system is Tylenol, correct?
The acetaminophen's in there with the Vicodin.
Okay, how can I watch people take 20
because
Vicodin in a sitting?
If you take, like right now, that's my thing.
Oh, sorry.
Yours way over there. It is if you, Mike Cather, would take 12 Tylenol, you'll be dead in 3 days.
Right.
Take 20, you'll definitely be dead in 3 days. If you take 4 Vicodin today and then ramp up the opiate, you know how long it takes for people to get addicted to opiate? Sure. It takes a few months for them to go from 2 every 4 hours.
Yeah, the people I watch do it are vets, but I still watch it.
And your liver adjusts to that over time. It creates the enzymatic machinery to shunt the Tylenol into a non-toxic compound. So my average patient, my average Vicodin patient, was taking 50 tablets a day.
Yeah.
I've seen people taking up to 100 tablets a day, and I've probably seen 1,000 of those. 1 case of liver toxicity, because the way you ramp up the Tylenol, your liver can adjust to it. Now, the complication that people get is deafness. They get sudden, severe deafness.
Wow.
But the
Rush
problem,
Limbaugh.
and literally, I've been in courtrooms where people will go, "You can't take 30 Tylenol a day; that would kill you." It's like, my average patient takes 50 a day. 30 a day is that small time.
Because I've watched.
And they ramp up to it over time, and the liver adjusts to it, and that's that.
All right, man. Whew.
That's heavy stuff.
1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. These Gray Men, the new Kickstarter campaign from John Dolmayan, who is our guest this evening. Go to Facebook.com/These Gray Men to get more information, or you can just go to Loveline's Facebook page. We'll link you to that Kickstarter right there. Go to Kickstarter if you'd like. Support these men. They're going to put together a project of all-star talent doing exotic cover versions of songs. Then they'll go on tour, and it all begins with your support on Kickstarter. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. This is Loveline.
This This is Loveline.
It's a groovy way of relaxing.
Sit tight. Loveline's coming back.
1-800-LOVE-191 is the number to give us a call here in the Loveline studios. And we're talking to John Dolmayan, our guest, about These Gray Men, his new Kickstarter campaign. It is a band put together by him. They need your support to make an album of cover songs, and then they're going to go on tour. And we'll see how it develops from there. But you got to support these guys on Kickstarter. You go to @TheseGrayMen on Twitter or Facebook /TheseGrayMen on Facebook. You were talking about you're going to pursue These Gray Men however you want, however you can, and it's going to unfold however it can.
Right.
But you have to take into consideration what's going to happen with System of a Down. Do you have any insight into what that's going to be? Tour first, album, more new music from System, or you really don't know yet?
We're not 100% sure what we're going to do. In the interim, I am working on These Gray Men, but I hope to be working on System pretty soon.
You guys all in System of a Down have seemed pretty cool with the idea of just making music, period. Whether it's one member going here, one member going there, or even other non-musical projects, whatever it may be. You guys all seem pretty supportive of each other doing what you want to do artistically, regardless of...
We are, and you have to be.
Yeah.
You know, it's being in a band is very much like being in a marriage. You know, except it's 4 people, 4 unique, strong individuals, and you have to figure out a way to make it work for long term. You know, I think anybody can make it work for a short term, but to have a real long-lasting relationship, you got to be really patient, you got to be really understanding, because I'm not a really patient person.
Right.
You know, I think that System should have made 3, maybe 4 albums in the last 8 years, but you have to be aware of other people and their needs, and there's also drama that happens. You need time to work that out.
Yeah.
You know, I look at it like a lifelong relationship. So, I'm now that I'm a little older, I'm starting to gain some patience.
It blows me away. It really does blow me away how bands are able to do it and do it successfully, to tour and stay together, same members, and make albums and to do it year after year. And you guys have taken your time off. You know, there was a definite hiatus, but either way, I mean, really think about who you at home. Really put into consideration being in a professional relationship with 4 other people or 3 other people, living on the road with them, creating something collectively.
You could break it
as a
down
whole.
further, just with your spouse or girlfriend. Just
Right.
imagine being in business with them as well.
Right.
You know, that's also how you make your living. You know, so it can be very difficult. It can be, I don't know a single band in history that it's been a piece of cake for.
Right.
You know, but you work it out, you make it happen, and you just hope that you can still make music that's relevant.
Yeah.
You know, because if we're not making music that's relevant, then what are we here for? You know, I don't want to be as much as I'm enjoying doing a covers album, I don't want to be in a covers band, and I also don't want to be in a greatest hits band. So whatever I do going forward has to be meaningful for me, and it has to break new ground. Otherwise, to be quite honest with you, I don't need to do this for a living.
Is it hard, though? I mean, for instance, Linkin Park, I think, is a great example of a band that is so successful. You know, Mike has been open about the fact, Mike Shinoda, he's like, they didn't even want to try to make something relevant because the music industry, the popular music industry, is so fragmented right now and so confused that they just made an album that they liked.
That's what you have to do.
They could have gone and made like an EDM-based album or something that was a little bit more electronic because that's what's popular right now.
And by the way, when I say relevant,
Right.
I don't mean relevant as in you have to conform to the times. You have to make relevant music for yourself. You know, something that's meaningful for yourself. And you have to continue to do that. Because the second you start thinking, okay, well, this is the trend, that trend is over by the time you've created something that fits in that trend. You know, so you just have to continue to just do what you do. And for new bands that are emerging, there's always, somebody's got to make it. Somebody has to become popular. Somebody has to move people and take people on a ride that other people haven't taken them on before. So it doesn't matter what the record labels are. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Before there were record labels, people were still making music.
Yeah.
After they're gone, they'll still make music. Music is the most important thing humanity is given to the universe. And actually, I think more than mathematics, that's the real universal language.
There it is. Drew, you care to speak to that? He's saying music more important than science.
It's universal language.
Yeah.
He's onto something.
I say music probably the most important thing in the world besides porn.
Oh.
To me.
Sorry, I have to go back. Porn first.
Yeah.
Most important thing for the universe, porn.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Taboo 2, which we've talked about before. Then music.
I remember Adam one time ran out of the studio and went to John's house.
I'll tell you the exact story of what happened.
Okay.
It was I believe the first time we were on.
I think so.
And somehow we got to the subject of
Taboo,
porn.
and
right?
Taboo 2 came up.
Now, keep in mind back then it wasn't so easy just to punch it up on the internet.
Sure.
I had a VHS copy. Okay. I think he lived in Hollywood at the time,
Yeah.
and I lived deep in the valley.
Yeah.
He followed me to my house.
Yeah.
I happen to have a spare copy because I had to have one at the time just in case mine broke down. He drove me to my house, came into my house. Everybody's asleep. It's like 1 a.m. I live with my parents
Your
at
parents,
the time.
you with your mom then.
Yeah. And we go to my room. We have a quick chit chat because that's the most uncomfortable chit chat of all time, right? I give him the porn.
Midnight,
He
1 in the
thanks
morning.
me and leaves.
Yeah.
And probably went home and put it right in there.
Oh, yes,
of
he
course
did.
he did.
Well,
What
here's
I
the funny thing about
should
Adam.
have done though is
Yeah.
given him like something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Oh, you could have hit it. Yeah.
He-Man videos.
Yeah.
Sang the song for a year afterwards.
The funny thing about Adam is he watches the movies. He doesn't just go to his favorite scene, beat off, and then call it a day.
I still
Adam
do as well, by the
watches
way.
the films.
Caligula. Have you ever seen Caligula?
I've scrolled through scenes.
You need to watch the whole movie.
You know what?
It's
The only
excellent.
the only time I ever saw the Caligula porn movie was on Dave's old porn, David Tell's old show, where he would review
Oh, yeah,
porn.
he would-
yeah,
yeah,
it
I
was a
remember
great
that
show. Nick, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you wait, but that was a great story about Adam and Taboo 2.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And he drove fast.
What's up?
He likes to drive.
So I was just on Snapchat, and I'm friends with my little cousin who's 11 years old. And I saw him post a video of him singing along to a rap song, and written on the screen in big letters is weed. And the rap song has lyrics about someone doing drugs, including weed, and then some. So I'm just curious as to how I should confront him, or not necessarily confront him, but how I should go about dealing with, I guess, what I just saw.
Just use a lot of wonderment. Again, that's always an important strategy to going after somebody that could be defensive, which is, I came upon a strange thing on the internet. What did you, it says weed. What do you mean by weed on the screen? Why is this important to you? What do you think you're communicating? And just a lot of questions, a lot of wonderment. Then give him a chance to answer.
Because I don't know if I should necessarily involve his mom or any
Not
of my
yet.
other family members.
You might. I
Find
mean,
out if he's just copying something that he thinks is cool, but if he says, I'm into this stuff, then you got to get him some help right away.
Okay.
All right, dude. Thank you, John. Thank you so much for coming in, dude.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
As soon as you get These Gray Men, up and going and everything's ready to rock, you please come back so we can talk about it.
What I'll probably do is come back with the music and try to bring in a couple of guys that sang or played on the album.
And a copy
Beautiful.
of Taboo 2 for Mike.
Go to Kickstarter and support These Gray Men. It is John Dolmayan's new project at These Gray Men, and then Facebook / These Gray Men. And you can link it on our Facebook page at Loveline. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number as always. And remember, in this crazy mixed up world that makes you think that nobody cares, we do. Be good.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed on Loveline are not necessarily those of the staff, management, sponsors, or this station. Loveline is produced by Ann Ingold. Engineered by Anderson Cowan. Executive producer Norm Pattis. Loveline is a presentation of Courtside Entertainment Group.
End of message.
The end of a perfect